Is your business pootling along instead of firing on all cylinders? Are you feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and frustrated? Do your dreams of financial freedom feel a long way off? Then this is the podcast for you. Little Voice, Big Business, with your host, Nadia Finer.
Hello and welcome to Little Voice Big Business with me, Nadia Finer. It's been a while since I made a podcast, and I was thinking this morning as to why it's been so long. And at first, it started out because I was super busy. I've been running a 6-week program called Project Profit, which has taken up an awful lot of my time. It's been amazing, and I've really loved working with these amazing entrepreneurial women to help them grow their businesses and make more money. And it started off that I felt like I was too busy to make a podcast, and therefore I sort of gave myself the excuse that I would have a few more days or weeks and it would be fine, and then I'd get back into it. But as the time went on and the weeks passed, I realised that there was something more. The longer I was out of the podcasting game, and the less accustomed I was to talking to a microphone, well, to you, but by myself, to a microphone, the more worried I was about starting up again. And I realised that I had taken such a break from it that I got the fear. And something which I'd become used to and didn't worry about anymore, suddenly all these monsters reared their head, or as Ashton, who actually was on the podcast the other day with one of her questions, she refers to it as the itty bitty shitty committee, the little gremlins on your shoulder who tell you that you can't do something or that you're not going to be any good. Well, they were out in full force. And I found myself telling Natalie, my producer, I've just been too busy. I haven't had time, I haven't been able to get a chance to record anything, or I'm not really sure what to say, and therefore I'll do it in a day, and then obviously in a week, in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks. And yeah, I was surprised that I was not immune to this anymore. I thought that because I'd cracked podcasting, that I was into it, enjoying it, and people gave me nice feedback. I thought, oh yeah, it's fine. I've conquered my fears and it's all good. Well, turns out those fears can come back at different points, and the minute you stop doing something and you start thinking about it, that they seem to leap on it as an opportunity to get back in there and to start putting those little doubts back in your head. So today I decided the time has come. Project Profit is almost finished, and I cleared some time in my schedule, so I'm going to record a bunch of podcasts today. And now that I'm doing it, I feel okay actually. It feels a little bit like getting back on a horse after maybe a few years of not riding. Slightly awkward and a bit uncomfortable, but I think I'll get back into the swing of it. And it made me wonder how often you feel like that, when perhaps you've conquered a fear and then you stop and pause, breathe, look around, take some time out, whether the fears come back or whether you're able to keep pressing on through. And I think I've discovered this week is that the more you do, the less you fear. Rather than kind of getting into sort of in-depth psychological stuff, which I'm not an expert in, I prefer to think about action. And action does seem to conquer fear. If you can keep busy and keep doing, then you'll just keep moving forwards and it won't hold you back anymore. I encourage you, when you get the fear or the doubts, don't stop. Don't let those fears grind you to a halt and to a state of inertia where all you're doing is sitting around thinking about what if and can I do it, am I good enough, those kinds of things. Instead, just keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Does your business feel like an expensive hobby? Are you waiting for the clients to fall from the sky? Are you feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and frustrated? It's time to ramp it up. The Actionista Academy is the most action-focused inner circle for female solopreneurs. It's guaranteed to get you moving with group calls, one-to-one support, a classroom-sized private Facebook group, templates, tools and weekly accountability. You'll get unstuck in no time. And at just $67 per month, the Actionista Academy is perfectly affordable. Yes! 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 For details of how to sign up, visit nadiafiner.com.
Now, I think in the Actionista Academy, that's one of the things which underpins how we work. Everybody's encouraged by me, to keep moving forward with a 90-day plan, weekly actions, keep moving, obviously in the right direction, not just in any old random direction. But if you keep going, then things will start to happen. I like to think of it as laying breadcrumbs. So the more breadcrumbs you lay, bit by bit, you're hopefully moving your business on, but also leading your clients and customers towards the goal. So if you're not sure what to do this week, or you feel like your business has ground to a bit of a halt, just think about laying the next breadcrumb. So that could be turning on the microphone and making a podcast, even if you're not really sure what you're going to talk about. It could be getting on Periscope or writing a blog, making a phone call. Just do one little thing and then the next thing will feel a lot easier. I feel like I've broken the seal, if you like. I've taken that step and now you're not going to be able to shut me up. But I just wanted to share this with you because, well, to reassure you that I am human and I too get these feelings and worries about whether or not I can do it. I think in the world of business, people don't often talk about this stuff. They don't often open up and be honest about how they're feeling. I think we're constantly fed a line of, I'm so successful, everything's so amazing. I put this course out and it sold a bajillion places. I made millions of pounds, look at me. And it can feel so intimidating, but I know for a fact that as human beings, it can't be the case that everybody feels super positive and confident all of the time. So I'm here to reassure you that everybody feels like this. In fact, if you didn't doubt yourself from time to time or feel like maybe you weren't qualified to be doing what you were doing, then you'd be a total arse. Because you'd be too full of yourself and you wouldn't question anything and people would find you perhaps arrogant. So let's embrace those fears, and as long as they don't grind us to a halt completely, I think we can just recognise them for making us human. And then as long as we can get through them out the other side and press on, then no harm done, if you like. So I'm happy that I'm back in the saddle. I feel like, Natalie, can we have some horse music, please? I heard on the radio, Black Beauty. I loved that when I was a kid. I feel like we need the Black Beauty music at this point. And I shall be galloping off into the sunset to make some more podcasts. Although that's a really weird analogy and doesn't make any sense because I'd need electricity and I don't suppose a stable is a very good environment for making a podcast. But anyway, keep moving, keep putting one hoof in front of the other, and fears are normal. Just listen to them, and then move on. One last thing before I go. I sometimes find that when you recognise the fear as fear, so when I realised this week that in fact I wasn't too busy to make podcasts, in fact I was putting it off. I think recognising the procrastination or avoidance as fear means we can move beyond it. Once I realised I wasn't too busy to make my podcast, that was just some rubbish lie I was telling myself, it became clear that the reason I didn't want to do it was because I was scared. So then I could just press on and move forward, but until I realised that was what it was, I couldn't get past it, so it was still holding me back. Think about the things that you're avoiding doing. Is there something on your list which keeps moving to the next week? So that's usually a sign, isn't it, that we don't want to do something. If it keeps moving across to the following week, you're trying to avoid doing it. Why is that? Are you worried about it? Are you scared? Is it uncomfortable or pushing your buttons in some way? And what's the first tiny step you could take to push on through? So I figured this podcast might be rubbish. It might not have any structure, it might not be interesting, it might just be me waffling on, but I had to do it because it was the first one. So it doesn't matter if the first step is no good, just take it, and then the second step, we can worry about quality. Okay, so thanks for listening everyone to my waffle, and good luck taking the first step. I look forward to hearing about it, maybe in our Facebook group. Head over to Little Voice Big Business on Facebook and come and chat to me. I'll see you in there. Bye!
Little Voice Big Business.